Struggling to write a good short film? What if I told you that you're just doing too much? What if I told you that the best short films are simple? Well, guess what? I'm telling you that. The problem is, simplicity is deceptively difficult, but in this video I'm going to break down the 3 writing traps that so many filmmakers fall into with their short films and show you how to avoid them. What are they? Scope, redundancy, and a misunderstanding of what dramatic writing actually is. If you're new to this channel, I'm Kent Lamm. I've been writing, directing, and editing films since I was a kid, including a run of monthly, super low-budget films from this channel, a short film that screened at 7 Oscar-qualifying film festivals and then went viral online, a feature film that we made for $6,000 that also went viral, and I studied creative writing at USC under a couple of pretty famous authors like Percival Everett and T.C. Boyle. So I'm no Aaron Sorkin, but I've learned a thing or two about writing short films that I'd love to share. Now, it's so easy to get carried away and stuff your story with unnecessary subplots and characters and moments, and then before you know it, your short film isn't so short. And besides that, and even worse, it's just not working like it should. But why not? I covered this in depth in a YouTube video, but the basics are some stories want to be shorts and some want to be features. And we're a little more used to identifying stories that want to be features because that's what we watch all the time. The difference is scope, right? There are big stories. There are small stories. What is the scope of the story that you're working on? And I would argue that you get in trouble when you try to force a 10-pound story into a 1-pound sack of like an 8-minute long short film. But there's hope. If you want to make a short film, but all your stories are too big, there's a thing that you can do to make it work as a short film. You can boil your feature film idea down to its absolute core, and what you're going to end up with is probably going to be great fodder for a short film. Let's do an example. Instead of a film about the family vacation from hell, which is obviously a big story, in fact, that was like a comedy feature that I wrote a year or 2 ago, it wouldn't work as a short. You gotta show the whole vacation to get the story across. But what if you boiled that idea, the family vacation from hell, down to just the family's drive to the airport? Now it's a much smaller story, right? So underneath everything that happens in your big story idea, what is the foundational issue that makes this the vacation from hell? If you can figure that out, then you just have to ask yourself another question. Can that core that's at the heart of the story be shown and resolved in a smaller way in this single car ride to the airport? I'm telling you it can, and if you're trying to make a short film, that is the way to go. It's not only going to be a better short film, it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper and easier to actually produce the thing. It is so easy to be redundant in a film. Many times we over-explain or we over-show to make a point clear to the audience, but we don't realize that we've already established that point in a previous story beat. For example, in an effort to show that a character's life is mundane, you do a montage of her going through her boring daily routine, and you show it 3 times, maybe in increasing speed, to start off the short film. Now, for me, the audience member, you could have shown me that routine happening 1 time, and I could have filled in the gaps and understood that she's got a boring routine, a boring life. So the other 2 iterations of that routine are kind of redundant from a story perspective. But you know what would have been even more impressive, what I would have really enjoyed as an audience member, is if you had figured out a way to show the mundanity of her routine with a single moment. How could you do that? Really, think about it. It's a lot harder, right? That's why simplicity is so difficult. But on the flip side, it's so amazing and powerful when you can really harness the power of simplicity like that for your story. And maybe that's a more obvious version of redundancy in a film, but let me give you a really insidious version of redundancy that we're all always guilty of. And this is when you include a scene that feels like it's providing something new to the audience in your film, but in reality, it's only a more specific version of something that we've already seen in the film. This happens all the time in so many different ways. For example, you might have a scene where a character is saying something that we already suspected about her. Often a quick, wordless reaction that just hints at a character's opinions or thoughts is way more effective and efficient than an entire scene that spells out her beliefs later on. And by the way, these are usually the scenes that end up on the cutting room floor. Unfortunately, it's often only when your film's runtime is so bloated that something just needs to get cut out that you'll realize the power of cutting all that kind of baggage out of your film. But you know what? Hot take alert. I think being that specific with a character's feeling in a film is really overrated. The audience craves playing the role of deciphering your character's feelings, so don't rob them of that by having your characters just spell it out concretely and clearly for everybody to see.
This isn't my world. Disappointed!
Tarantino owns a theater out here where he plays all these old movies, and he was doing a screening of The Deer Hunter in 35mm film, and I was so excited. My girlfriend had never seen it before. I was like, oh man, this is like a 3.5 hour long movie. I hope she likes this. Is this too much of a dude movie? She loved the movie. She said it was the best movie she'd ever seen, and the thing that really got her was they have this love triangle throughout the whole movie between De Niro and Christopher Walken and Meryl Streep, and it is never really said what is going on. But you are forced to plug in all of the details, read between the lines of every single interaction they have, and you just feel so much more because you know that, De Niro's wanting to tell Meryl Streep how he feels, but he feels this obligation to his friend, and the friend knows what's going on, but it's just so nuanced and complex in a way that if they were to actually say exactly how they felt, you would never get that, you would never feel the same connection, and it would never be nearly as effective. On top of that, it would be really bloated and clunky. Let's talk about the third problem. Now, David Mamet, you might have heard of him. He's best known for writing the excellent play and film Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
He also wrote a book on directing films, which I really enjoyed, and he did one of those master classes. But I do find that most of his takes are way too black and white. I think there's plenty of examples of good directing and writing that defy his rules. But for a glimpse into his ideas, here's a memo that he sent to the writing staff of his TV show, The Unit. It's 3 pages of tough love for screenwriters, and I think in this case, he's right on the money. I'll put a link to it in the description, but here's my TLDR summary for you. Our job as screenwriters is not to communicate information and make things clear to the audience. Our job is to write drama. People will tune in to watch drama, not information, aka exposition. What is drama? All drama is the quest of the hero to overcome the obstacles preventing them from achieving their specific, acute goal. And I do like his use of the words specific and acute. I might add in the word concrete here, so that we're not talking about some wishy-washy, woo-woo, vague feeling of a goal. We're talking about like something real that somebody could actually do or get or achieve in this film. Now, in every scene, this must be happening, and every scene must end in the hero's either failure or their realization that another way exists. Either way, though, it propels us into the next scene. So, for every scene, ask yourself these 3 questions. Who wants what? What happens if they don't get it? And why now? The answers to these questions will tell you if the scene is dramatic or not, and guess what? No non-dramatic scenes allowed. But what about all the information the audience needs? Well, the writer's job is to figure that out. Deliver it or withhold it elegantly and still keep the scene dramatic. So according to Mamet, you should never have a scene that's just 2 characters talking about a third character because that's not dramatic. You should never have a character saying an as you know message to another character because the audience sees right through that as the exposition dump that it is. And you should let the camera do your storytelling work by leaning into the visual medium of film. Show us things. And if you can write a silent movie, you'll be writing great drama. Narration, exposition, and even speech are crutches in the medium of film. So what do you think? Too black and white? I think he does make a lot of indisputable points in this memo, but then again, I could think of many ways to write a dramatic scene with 2 characters talking about a third character. So maybe take this with a grain of salt, but you should examine some of your favorite films and even some of your own films through the lens of these rules. Does this memo hold up?
You think I'm f***ing with you? I am not f***ing with you.
And if you want some more help, I highly recommend you check out my instant short film blueprint. This is a 2-hour crash course that shows you how to write a crowd-pleasing short film with only the resources you already have, meaning that you can write no-budget short films so you can go out and film this weekend if you want to. Hundreds of people have gone through this course so far and loved it. I've gotten such good feedback on this thing. And I've made it as foolproof, no BS, straight to the point, plug and play as possible to get you writing as quick as possible. Stuff that's really just going to work. So this is the quickest, most effective way I could think of to take somebody from a blank page and no ideas to just becoming a story writing factory, writing short films that they can go out and film immediately so that they never have an excuse to not be making something new and getting better and leveling up their skills. And this week only, it is on sale from $79 down to $59. And on top of that, I'm including a new ebook I wrote called Story Starters, which is a fun workbook that's full of screenwriting challenges, exercises, and prompts that'll get the creative juices flowing, get the cobwebs off, and anytime you're just feeling stuck, like you have no idea what to write about, you can just pick one of these exercises, start writing, and who knows, maybe it'll spark the idea for your next film. But this discount and exclusive bonus are expiring this Sunday, so get it while you can. Go to standardstoryco.com/blueprints or just click the link in the description below and check it out. Let's make some movies.